Sometimes life can come at you fast. I mean, so fast. You look up and all of a sudden you have so many bills to take care of, so much to do, so many projects, but you have no idea where all the financial energy is going to come from, where the extra time is going to come from. But you know that you have urgent needs that need to be taken care of, and you just don't know where to start. So clearly you need some guidance. Okay, now I recently came across a entity called Saint Expedite, or named Saint Expedite, excuse me. And when the universe brought it to me, it was because obviously my spirit was ready to receive the power that he has given Saint Expedite to work for us in this physical experience. Now, I am going to get into all the specifics about where Saint Expedite comes from, what he can do for you, how to invoke him, what to offer him, all the details, okay, as I always do with all of my other videos. But if you're not following me by clicking that subscribe bell and subscribe to this channel, how would you know what else I talk about? Well, this channel here is all about beauty, spirituality, food, lifestyle, literally everything to help you serve your higher self. Because Drab to Fab is all about going from drab to fab. So, before I play this intro and we get into all the specifics on who Saint Expedite is, make sure that you don't get out the loop. Click that bell, like and subscribe. Make sure you head over to my Instagrams as well. Description box below has all of those details where you can find the links to my website where I sell different merchandise like waist trainers and active wear and hair extensions and food prep. Literally everything that can help you go from drab to fat. So without further ado, here's this intro. I'll see you guys soon. So welcome back. I am so excited about finally being in the space to share with you guys the knowledge that I know about Saint Expedite. Now, Saint Expedite is very powerful. And as you guys know, I super love working with my ancestors and my spirit guides. But one thing I have learned throughout developing my spirituality and breaking the preconceived notions and the conditioning that we grew up to know is that God has put so many things on this earth that is of light that we can tap into to manifest our wildest desires. But not only manifest our wildest desires, but call on when we need them and when we need assistance, okay? Now, as you know, the spirit guides always got your back. Always work with them daily. But somebody else who you can work with is Saint Expedite. Now, I came across Saint Expedite when I needed something in an urgent manner, and I believe that I manifested well over $2,000 in a matter of 24 hours, which is why I put the title, Who is Saint Expedite? Manifest anything in 24 hours or less, okay? Now, Saint Expedite can also take some time if you have those larger manifestations that you would like to manifest. But if you're needing, let's just say you're needing to move out of your apartment or your home within 30 days, that is more than enough time for the pieces to be put together to make this work, okay? Now, one thing I will say is Expedite is a very particular entity that you will be invoking. Now, with that being said, there are certain practices that you must abide by when you do come and you're trying to seek his guidance or his assistance, excuse me. Now, one disclaimer that I don't know that obviously you came to this channel, or you came to this particular video because you are ready to receive. You have worked on your spirituality thus far. You have been manifesting. You have been doing your shadow work. You have been working on your spirituality and your spell work and all of those things. So you are ready. But at the end of the day, too, I must say that I would never tell you something that I didn't feel came from a light perspective, or who didn't come from a space that God has given the power, okay? Now, if we understand that Creator is given this power, then I feel as if, you know, the light part is number one, okay? Now, everything that we have discussed in any of my videos, you know, it can be used in a negative light if that is the intention of the user, okay? But if you're on this channel, it's all lights, okay? All lights, okay? So, without further ado, let me explain to you before we get into what he can do, who he is, and where Saint Expedite came from. Now, as you guys know, I'm very particular on the information that I give to you guys, so it's very imperative that I do have notes. Now, with that being said, I'll probably be looking down when it comes to certain things that I know I need to just fact check. But I always ask for Spirit to lead when I am doing these videos. So sometimes I'll be talking and the words will just come to my head and they'll just be coming out, and they'll just come out, and I won't need to actually look down to my notes. But who is Saint Expedite, okay? So Expeditus, also known as Saint Expedite or Expedite, Saint Expedite now, he was known as Expedite, was said to have been a Roman centurion, okay, in Armenia, who was martyred around April 303 in what is now Turkey for converting to Christianity. So he left the church that was basically the faith, okay, and he converted to Christianity, so he was martyred, you know what that means, okay? So he was considered the patron saint of speedy cases. He is commemorated by the Catholic Church on April 19th, excuse me. As many of us know, Armenia became the first country to adopt Christianity, okay? Now, if a whole country adopts the faith, it becomes a Christian, kind of like what America did. We adopted Christianity as our faith, okay? Armenia was the first, according to records. Now, you know, these history books these days, some of it's truth. I don't know. I can only tell you what items fact checked offline, okay? And anyway, as I was personally raised Christian, a lot of the figures and resources surrounding the practice of Christianity will always call to me, regardless of how developed my spirituality becomes. You as well have clearly, like I said, have come to that knowledge. So, since we know that Saint Expedite is known as somebody of speedy cases, how can you invoke him? How can you come to him? How can you ask for his assistance? How can you basically say, I need your help? Okay? So, obviously, you have an altar. If you do not have an altar, there are videos on here that teach you how to set up an altar. I believe I also have a video about how to set up an altar. So, you want to make sure you have an altar. And with your altar, now, you're going to get a candle. And you're going to either get a picture of Saint Expedite, or you're going to get a candle wrapper. Now, the candle wrappers can be printed offline through Google, and you'll just basically take off after you smudge and clean your candle. You're going to take just the candle wrapper and wrap it when you get ready to light it. If you don't want to do that, then you'll just put it with basically how you do your pictures of your ancestors on your altar, behind your altar. Whatever, it's up to you how Spirit leads you to do your spell work, okay? Now, I originally was advised to get a yellow candle when I first started working with Expedite, based off of someone's channel that I was looking at. And then I started doing research, and I actually started working with him myself. And I have found, based off of something else that came to me, another download that I received is try a red candle. Now, red candles, it seems to be that he loves the color red. And if you actually look at a picture of Saint Expedite in his wardrobe, it had a lot of red in it. And we'll get into his offerings here in a minute in terms of where I came to the ideology that red is just his color. Okay, so I have decided to use red just because of the fiery nature and the fact that, you know, to me that's how I correlate it to. I don't know, it's just my personal download. If that resonates with you as I'm speaking, cool, do it, take it, because I received it from somewhere else, so that's how I went with it. So you would light your candle. Now, I typically light white candles all the time for my ancestor work, just because I just feel like anything that I do or I'm experimenting with, I always want to make sure that my ancestors are there with me and the coast is clear before I start trying to work with them solely. Now, when I first started working with him, I realized that now I had all my candles lit, okay? Now, literally, like my money candles, all my candles. And I realized that because he works at night, is what I found out is he moves a lot. Like, he moves a lot. And what I'm told is that one thing that's very important when you do light your candles, make sure it is outside of your room per se. Now, it's in my prayer closet, which is inside my room, but my room my prayer closet has an actual door, so when I sleep I can close the door. Now, I don't know how particular you guys feel about the spirit realm and things of that nature, but he works at night, and so it is said that he could keep you up at night if he is not away from you while you are sleeping. Okay, so with that being said, I found that because that correlation between him working so heavily at night, that he might need to work by himself. So the larger scale spells that I generally do with my ancestors, I kind of separated them from my work with Expedite. Now, somebody who has been working in the whole spiritual journey for a very long time, in the practice for a very long time, may have said in their head, duh. But for me, I'm repeating it to you because I needed to receive that through trial and error, my personal self, but somebody might just need to tell you. I would personally advise for you to work with him by himself, okay? If you decide to keep your candle lit, like I said, to make sure the coast is clear at the beginning when you start working, but you'll get comfortable and you'll realize that he does come in peace, just like we are used to having our ancestors come in peace, okay? So that is your own prerogative, okay? With that being said, also, another reason why I have decided to do the separate rituals, if you will, is because Saint Expedite loves pound cake. And as you know, our ancestors love pound cake. So if you put out pound cake for him and you put out pound cake for them, they're going to be fighting, and then it's going to be dry by the morning because you know they done all ate it up. Then when it comes to your fresh water, you know they love fresh water. So all of the offerings and things of that nature, you don't want different entities trying to pick up off your offerings, and at the end of the day, you had them intended for somebody else, but they in the spirit realm, boo. They want to help you, but they want their stuff too. So work with them individually is what I would advise, okay? So, I hope you guys are taking notes about all of these different things in terms of the offerings and things of that nature. So, back to what the specific offerings are. We have the pound cake, which I just spoke about. Okay, now the pound cake, he specifically likes Sara Lee, but I also found out that he will, if you can't have access to Sara Lee, he does like pound cake. I personally made a pound cake for the holiday season, and they loved it. He loved it during the holiday season. I gave half to him and half to my ancestors. anything that you do handmade, it's with love. So you're always going to, in my mind, you're going to receive more of the reward in abundance. But back to what I was saying. So you have the Sara Lee and red wine. Now, like I said, ancestors love the red wine too. So if you get where I'm going, just keep it separate. So do the red wine as well as roses. Now, the tricky thing about Saint Expedite, when you make your offerings, you are not to make all of the offerings at once, because he needs incentive to know, oh, I got something on the back end for what I'm about to do in your life. Okay, now at the end of the day, you can offer all of it up, but I mean, what's the incentive? It's just like a kid. If you say, I'm gonna give you a treat at the end of what you done did for me, then you know there's the incentive. But if you give that kid the treat at the beginning, or you give all the treat at the beginning, yeah, they're probably not going to put in that much effort. But if you give them a little sneak peek, like a little piece of it, you know what I'm saying, then they'll have the incentive to go a little bit harder. And not that he's a child, but I mean, we all have childlike tendencies. So at the end of the day, you need to go ahead and offer it up. So it's kind of like a promissory note, if you will. Like, I'm going to give you this, you give it's take off. Okay, it's pretty much the same thing with all ancestors. I mean, all spirit guides, though. You know, you give and you receive. I mean, that's what life is about. So you give half at the beginning, but you have to make sure that you give it at the end once you receive what you have asked for. Now, if you do not, I have heard of certain things just slipping through your hands or slipping through your fingertips after you've received them, because you weren't grateful in his eyes. You know, you didn't see the power that he can provide through God for you. So yeah, bye-bye. Also, one thing that he absolutely loves is for his name to be invoked or to be praised. Now, that is very vain. Yes, it is. But I'm a vain individual too, so I kind of understand. But yeah, I did this for you. Tell the people so they can use me too. But if you think about it, we are all made in God's image, and at the end of the day, God is the same way. Yeah, I'm the bomb. I know who I am. I know what I can do for you. So speak my name with splendor, okay? So that's just an incentive. Now, I wouldn't advise you to do that until the end. You can say, hey, even if you're just telling your friends, have you ever worked with Saint Expedite? Girl, let me tell you. That helps him feel good, because that means that he feels appreciated, okay? So that's pretty much how to set up your altar. Now, you'll ring, when you invoke him, you'll ring the bell, and you'll ring your bell, and then you'll light your candle, and then you'll say your Saint Expedite prayer. Now, you can create your own Saint Expedite prayer. You can look up a Saint Expedite prayer online, or there are also people on YouTube right here, this platform right here, that offer Saint Expedite prayer. One of the prayers that I use very frequent, shout out to Manifesting Moon. I use her manifestation prayer, if you will, with Saint Expedite, which is very, very good and very, very powerful. Okay, so yes. Oh yeah, see all my notes. I'm telling you, I just basically just told you everything. Y'all even reading it. Okay. One of the most helpful incense that I use on my altar, because that's one thing which I didn't just say just a minute ago, but that goes back into how to set up your altar. But I'm going to reiterate. Make sure that when you are lighting your candles, you also burn some type of incense of some sort. I like to use with Saint Expedite either the fast luck one or the road opener, or the unblocking. I can't think of what it is. It's called. It's by HEM, of course. It's like unblocking or road opener incense, and that kind of just adds that extra push for the spirit realm. Incense, as you know, is a wonderful way to communicate with the spirit realm and to invite them in. So that is a helpful piece that I would advise you to use on your altar as well when you are invoking Saint Expedite. That's pretty much it. Saint Expedite can literally, like I said, I could tell you what he's done for me. And what he's done for me is work miracles in less than 24 hours. If you are wanting to manifest miracles in less than 24 hours, I advise you to set up your altar. Now, if you don't get all the information that you desire in terms of Saint Expedite and who he is and all the specifics, I gave a brief synopsis of the history behind who he was in terms of the Roman Catholic Church. However, if you would like to find out more about how he was martyred from being extracted from the Roman Catholic Church and moving into Christianity, then you can Google, okay? I basically just Googled and read a couple articles, quite a few actually. And you can also YouTube as well. But anybody who is connected to God, I'm probably going to take heed to the things that people are telling me in terms of what he's done for them, in terms of researching for myself, okay? So make sure you research a little bit for yourself. Saint Expedite is here to help you with your urgent need. And if you're not sure what urgent need, I mean rent, I mean phone bills, I mean utility bills, I mean you trying to get into an apartment, you need to get a new job, you need to anything urgent, okay? The list can go on, okay? Because we've all had these urgent needs before, and I literally just want everybody to turn their lives from drab to bad, and Saint Expedite can help you do that time and time again. Just make sure you give him his offerings and make sure that you sing his praises. Whatever you do, make sure that he is not in your bedroom when you are sleeping. Otherwise, you might be up at night. All right? So, that is all, folks. I am going to be doing as many videos as possible. As you guys know, I do at least one a week. We're trying to get in some of the different videos, not just spirituality, because I know that people are coming to this channel for various reasons. So for my spiritual people, I always got you. For my beauty people, I always got you. For my travel people, I always got you. For all my people, I always got you. I'm always leading in love and light, and I want everybody to go from drag to fat. Until next time, I love you guys. Smooches.